welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a foundation review. A drugstore foundation review that you guys had voted on my Instagram, which is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I'm going to be trying it out, also doing a little flash test. One half of my face with a makeup brush and also the other half with a sponge to test out which gives the best coverage. So if you'd like to know my thoughts on this foundation, then please keep on watching. Okay, you guys, so we're going to be trying out the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. And if you hear any thunder or anything like that, I'm sorry. It's actually storming right now really bad, but I still wanted to do this video for you guys. So ignore the thunder if you hear it. But the color that I purchased mine in is in True Beige. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good match. They have a huge shade selection, but for some reason I just couldn't find a nice light medium with like olive or warm undertones. This was the one I think will probably be the best, and I'm between an NC25 to NC30. I'm going to be priming my skin with the Too Faced Hangover Primer, which is my favorite primer at the moment for my dry skin. This is a more mattifying foundation. So since my skin is on the drier side, I'm going to be trying it out how I normally would. So go ahead and prime your skin however you normally prime it. We're going to see how this applies. I'm going to apply half of one side with my Beauty Blender. On this side, I'm going to be using a brush to give me more coverage and see what it looks like. The consistency is not super runny and it's not super thick either. Let me grab my mirror. There's no scent to this foundation. I don't smell anything. The color's looking pretty good, a little warm, really yellow. I actually did 2 pumps and I feel like I need a little bit more. Now the coverage with the brush, I was expecting to have a little bit more coverage since this does say it's a full coverage. I feel like it's a little bit more to like medium coverage because I can still see some like pigmentation. I can still see some of my like freckles, which I have a lot of freckles. So now on the other side, I'm gonna go in with my Beauty Blender. I don't know if you can see on camera, but the foundation's actually really warm tone, really golden. So far on this foundation, I'm not liking the coverage itself. I feel like the coverage is really light, and I've already had to use 5 pumps of foundation on my face alone. Like I've used 2 pumps on the Beauty Blender, and I've used like 6 pumps already actually of foundation, because I did 2 pumps on the brush and then I ended up doing an extra pump, and the same thing with this, with my Beauty Blender. So coverage wise, yes, this is more like of a medium. I don't know if you guys can see the tone on camera. It's actually really golden. I think this foundation, this shade would look better on someone like NC35, NC37 maybe. But I feel like it matches my arms, like the tan tone of my body. I like the application better with the Beauty Blender. I feel like it gives it a more of a skin-like, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with another pump and try to see if I can build up this coverage a little bit more. I purchased my foundation at CVS. They had it at my local CVS for $15. It was $14.99. I think that's kind of pricey if you ask me for a drugstore foundation. I feel like drugstore foundations should range from like $5 to maybe the most $13. The coverage is buildable. I can see that the coverage is a more buildable, but I've had to use a lot of the foundation already, and it's 1 fluid ounce in here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be back and we can talk more about the foundation. Okay, you guys, so I finished my makeup, and today I went with this green little eyeshadow, the James Charles Morphe palette. Sorry, you guys, I actually don't know how I feel about this foundation. It is almost like a powdery skin-like finish. The finish itself is very velvety looking. The coverage, I don't know, is a medium. I would not say full coverage. Like, I've seen drugstore foundations like the Maybelline Superstay with just dabbing it on, it covers everything. This one I had to use a total of 7 pumps to cover my whole face and actually see a good coverage from it, both with the sponge and with a brush. So as the color, I feel like it's a good match. It's just very warm, very golden. I was checking it with like my shoulder and stuff, and I was like, you know what, like the color itself matches. It's just a little too warm. I think the undertone is a little too much, but if you're anywhere between like NC30 to NC37, I think this true beige color would be really for my combination skin that's a little bit more on the drier side. It is emphasizing some of my fine lines. It's kind of like collecting here in my nose area. It's kind of like cracking a little bit right here already, and I did not set my face with any powder. I decided not to set it. I want to see how it's going to do throughout. I looked it up on the Ulta website, so there is 45 colors in total, so that is a huge range of foundations. I'm hoping that maybe I can look for something a little bit lighter or maybe more neutral tone. The foundation claims to be lightweight, waterproof, and pigmented at AF. That's how exactly they have it on the website. It says this is a full coverage foundation. This is a liquid formula that does not transfer. It glides on smooth, delivering a matte coverage that stays true to color for up to 24 hours. Heat, humidity, and water have nothing on this full coverage waterproof complexion. So it does claim to do a lot of stuff, right? Waterproof, lightweight. I can say that the waterproof is true, you know, guys, because yesterday I had actually tried this foundation on my hand at CVS. Like, I put a few pumps on my hand, and that's when I noticed that the formula comes from liquid and it sets into kind of like a powdery finish. And I remember I came home and I was washing some dishes and I started rubbing the foundation to see what would happen, and it actually stayed. So I can say that it is water. Go ahead and just keep on the foundation for the rest of the day and see how it looks throughout the day on my skin. So I'll be checking in a little bit. So I tried the foundation out for the day, and over time I did not get oily at all. I feel like it held up really well. The only thing that I did start to notice is as the day progressed, the heavier feeling I felt on my skin. The color itself, I think the match is good. It's just the undertone is a little too yellow for me. I did a flash test. It did not have a flashback, but you can really see that yellow in the picture, and I'll be inserting a flash test picture so y'all guys can check that out. But overall, the foundation has held up really well. It did not separate on me at all. And the only thing I did notice is some of my blemishes and some of my dark spots have been peeking through as well throughout the day. I personally think that this foundation is worth the $15. I personally don't. I think there's way better foundations at the drugstore that give you a better coverage. That this foundation is a go for me. It did not work for my skin type. I feel like it was a little over drying and just a little too heavy. The rest of my makeup on my skin has stayed on pretty well. Like, I still have on my blush, my contour, my highlight. So the makeup has held in place all day. It's just like I said, it feels very heavy on the skin, not very comfortable. I don't feel like for as much foundation as I had to use to get this type of coverage, I had to use 7 pumps of foundation, you guys. 7 total pumps to cover my whole face and to give me a nice coverage. Certainly do not think that this foundation is for me. If you have more oily skin, I suggest you can give it a try. But in my opinion, I feel like there's way better foundations at the drugstore specific for combination skin. So you guys, that is my thoughts on this foundation. And if you've tried it and it's worked for you, or you have another foundation that you'd like for me to try, let me know down in the comments below, and I'd love to give another review for you guys. So I will see you guys the next time. Bye.